I'm going to read this passage out of 1 Corinthians 10. It says, no temptation has overtaken you, but such as is common to man. And that word temptation is the same as tempted before. And God is faithful. So even Paul goes, he's faithful, who will not allow you to be tempted beyond what you are able, but with the temptation will provide the way of escape also, so that you will be able to endure it. So notice that he says, so that you will be able to endure it. Not so that it doesn't come your way. He goes, no, you have need of endurance. Paul says that later in another one of his epistles. He goes, you have need for endurance. Actually, I think it might be in Hebrews, where it says you have need for endurance, and having received the promise, you'll get the inheritance. I think that's what it says. I think it's in Hebrews. You can look that up for me, Eli. Go to your Blue Letter Bible. I think that's where it's at. But the idea is we need endurance. And he goes, I know what you need, so I gave you a trial that was just made just for you in this moment. But be of good cheer. I also have, in the word manifold, remember the manifold grace of God? That means many faceted. But I have a grace that matches that testing. I don't leave you to yourself. I have a testing that's made just for you to produce this endurance that you need, but my grace, it's manifold, and it matches your testing. And so he goes, don't fear the testing, because I am faithful, and you will not be tested beyond what you can handle, and I will be with you. I will provide you with my grace. Because of this, we can draw near with confidence. When you get it, Eli, just let me know. You can draw near with confidence. And this confidence, I love this. It's freedom in speaking, unreservedness in speech, openly, without ambiguity or concealment. So the idea is when it says, therefore, let's draw near with confidence to the throne of grace, it means speak anything that you want. This is what confidence means. It means we can come to the throne of grace and we can say whatever we need to say. We're unreserved in our speech. Whatever we need, whatever we're feeling, we could be happy, we could be joyful, we could be confused, we don't understand, we're angry, we're offended. He's going, come to my throne. You don't have to hide. You can come with confidence. Hebrews 10:36. And what does it say? I'll look it up here. Yeah, probably because everybody can hear it and then it'll be recorded. It says, for you have need of endurance, so that when you have done the will of God, you may receive what is promised. So you see that promise? God's like, I want you to get everything I've promised you. We're like, yes, give me all that you promised me. And then a trial comes and we go, what are you doing? You're the great high priest. You said if I come to you, you'll give me what I promised. He's like, yes, you have need of endurance. So in having done the will of God, you can receive what is promised. And we're going, but no, we just wanted the promise. Right? And so this is why, honestly though, this is why we're so offended with God. Because we come to him as these little kids that go, I want this, I want that, give me. And they forget please, and you train them to please, right? And they're, I want the cookie, and they'll eat cookies all day. Well, it's actually a bad parent to give the kid what they want all day. Right? The parent needs to go, well, we can't live on sugar alone, but we have some meat, you know? And so a lot of times we get offended with God because we go, well, I prayed the prayer that you said to do and God didn't do it. So it's just not true. And God's going, no, that's not who I am. He's like, you have need of endurance. And having done the will of God, then you can receive what I promised you, right? So we tell our children when they want to drive at the age of 5, oh, no, you have need of maturity. So when they want to drive at 16, oh, you have need of maturity. Just kidding. So they get their license when they're 16, not when they're 5. And that's how the Lord does with us. We go, but I want. He goes, yes, let me mature you. And then having done the will of God, having gone through that endurance, having gone through the maturity, then you can receive what was promised. And this is this idea of coming with confidence to the throne of grace. We can come. God's like, tell me what you're thinking. If you're offended with me, if you're confused with me, you don't like what I'm doing, tell me. I'm the safe place to emote your feelings on, because I see the end from the beginning, and I can speak to you. I can come and give you the counsel that you need. And so he's like, come with boldness. And this idea of boldness is also assurance. Like, don't just come and complain and dump on God and walk away. Come with this assurance that he's going to speak back to you. No, I'm coming, Father, because I might not even like your answer, but at least you'll answer me. I mean, there's many times when I've complained with God, and I knew I was wrong. But, sometimes you just have to talk. And so you know it. And I've never, ever once had the Lord reject me. Ever. I mean, even when I was expecting him to be impatient with me, he never was. Ever. And sometimes that's the harder grace to receive. Because sometimes it's easier to receive just spank me, Lord. Just spank me out of this funk, please. And he's like, well, you guys Bethany's like, mommy needs a spanking. And I'm like, I know, they're so cute. But he'll come with the opposite. He'll just come, I understand. Or many times, I mean, my favorite phrase, the students all know this, is I love just, meditating, saying, just stand before Jesus and say, Jesus, you love me and I love you. And I cannot tell you how many times in all my, I don't know what's going on, anxiety and fears and worries and concerns, and the Lord would just speak to me in my ear, just, Jeniffer, I love you. And I'm like, I know. I'm just revealing my heart. And I'm like, I know, but, He's like, Jeniffer, I love you. I know, and he says it, and he's so patient, and he'll say it, and then I finally just melt, and I'm like, yes, because he knows what our hearts really need. He goes, I know you're just acting out of fear and insecurity. You don't know that right now, but you just need to hear that I love you again. And it's these places of our heart where he's like, if you come to me, I can minister to what you need the most. And that's the confidence that we have. When we meditate on Jesus as high priest, this is our confidence. We're going, no, Jesus, you sympathize, you hear me, and you minister to my heart. And we have a man who stands forever making intercession for us as the faithful and as the merciful and faithful high priest. This is our Jesus. And during worship, I mean, it was just such a sweet time of worship, and just all the songs the one song is and your love so deep. Sorry, I have to and your love so deep. And it's this, your love so deep, it washes over me. And I was just praying in this room. I was like, Lord, come. Whoever is playing. Oh, Adrian. This is Adrian. Many of you don't know him. But he's a faithful son in the house that grew up and flew the coop. He actually ministers in the Richmond House of Prayer with MAPS, and he's their director of the House of